How are you? Hope you all are doing good. Today, another class we are going to take a new topic you will learn today. Before starting the same instructions, I will tell you you should have your textbook and the required stationery. Plus, turn off your videos during class, and most important, listen to your teacher first and then ask questions at the end. I will inshallah try to satisfy you successfully. Okay, so today's topic, you can see the screen. Uh, Today, the first topic you're going to learn is the role of women in the Pakistan movement. That's a chapter. And the second topic is parts of the speech that we started yesterday and will continue today. Pronoun, verb, and adverb. I will try to successfully teach you if I could not complete in case. So, we will continue it tomorrow. If any of the topic, like verb or adverb, I could not complete, we will continue inshallah tomorrow. Otherwise, we will continue the remaining parts of the speech tomorrow. Okay, let's start the first topic. The role of women in the Pakistan movement. Page number is 45 in your textbook because it's a chapter. Okay. Okay, let's start the chapter, the role of women in the Pakistan movement. The title itself is telling you what the chapter is about. It's about the particular efforts of women in the struggle of making Pakistan. Pakistan movement means the struggle of making Pakistan. So this paragraph that you can see on this screen, the first paragraph, you can see very clearly, it is about an overall overview of Pakistan movement or making of Pakistan. As you know, Pakistan was established on 14th August. Before this, British would rule South Asia. Muslims and Hindus both started for liberty, but soon Muslims realized that Hindus were not uh, they were not sincere with them. Actually, they thought if British left India, they would not be given equal rights by the Hindus again. So after realization, the Muslims, they formed, especially the Muslim leaders, they also realized, they formed a new political party which was called, very famous, All India Muslim League. Okay, so many leaders who had earlier joined the Congress. Congress was another party which was ruled by Muslims and Hindu together. But Hindus were in majority in the country. That's why they were in. They had more power. Okay, so many leaders of Muslims, they also joined All India Muslim League, and Qaeda Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, as we know, very famous Qaeda Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, became the president of All India Muslim League in 1934. Although All India Muslim League was established in 1906, in 1906 it was established. Qaeda Azam became its president in 1934. Year must be remembered. Okay. The Muslims being united under, okay, the Muslims being united on a common platform. It was now a common platform for Muslims, All India Muslim League. So they, as a united nation or as a united community, they now worked for the glorious struggle of independence, and they were able to see guidance and of Qaeda Azam, and his able leadership made it possible that Pakistan came into being. Okay, so very quickly I told about this paragraph. I think that's enough. Let's move towards the next paragraph. Okay, now this paragraph is telling you about the role of women in the Pakistan movement. It was very difficult to make the British realize that they had to consider the demands of the Muslims before they decided to give independence to India. The British were not realizing that they had to, it was very difficult to make them realize that Muslims needed a separate state than Hindus. That's why a long and hard, obviously it was very hard, it was a long as well as very hard struggle which was followed by Muslims of that time. Not only did the men take part, not only men took part in this struggle of independence, women also participated very actively, very bravely in this glorious struggle. What kind of women at that time were there in that scenario? These women were not women like today's women. They were quite changed. They were in a strict parda. Still, women are in parda, but at that time they were in a strict parda. Okay, because of saving their chastity as well. So it was a time when they were in a strict parda because of the environment outside as well. They were less educated and less politically aware. They would not know about political issues, and because they were less educated, they were not educated. Hindi women were educated more than them. There were many selfless, self and brave. Selfless means without any greed, non-greedy, you can say. Women who, in spite of these hindrances, hindrances means the hardships, problems, they came forward and they worked for the cause of independence side by side with men. Side by side is a phrase, okay? Means along with men. What they did. Now you can see, number one, they formed the women's branch of Muslim League. It was established to organize women. Number two, they traveled to the countryside areas, the villages and small towns, and aware women about the political scenario or what should they do at that time. Number three, they organized public meetings for women. That was something different at that time. And they also addressed large gatherings. Number four, they also took part in public meetings organized by men, not by women, by men as well, and made speeches before men, before large audiences of men. Number five, they met wives and daughters of the British officers. They would go to meet them and tell them about their demand, what their demand was about, and what was the reason they were asking for it. Number six, they opened classes in their homes to educate Muslim girls. And as I said, Muslim women or girls were not educated like Hindu women, so they started education for Muslim girls, by opening classes at their homes. Sometimes the police would. It was not easy to do all these, activities. Some examples as are given. Sometimes it was very difficult for them to carry on because tear gas, lathi charge were used against them. So it was not an easy, an easy way. It was not the bed of roses for them. It was very hard, especially the women of that time. It was really hard, but they did. They successfully did, a lot for the independence. You cannot say only men worked for independence. Okay. Now the next paragraph. Another point is here. Number seven. They encouraged their brothers. The women who were at home, they could not come out. Many women could not come out. But what they would do at home, they would encourage their brothers, their husbands, their sons, men of the family, to go out and to work for the achievement of Pakistan. So that was also very important. If they were not coming out, but they could encourage the men of the home. Among such selfless and courageous women who were a lot, there were many unsung heroes, or I should say heroines, you can find in the history of making Pakistan, and many are very famous. So, among that famous and courageous women who worked for the independence, uh, one name is Abadi Begum, who was called B. Amma. She was lovingly called B. Amma by others, and still she is remembered with the name B. Amma. She leads the rest. She is one of the very important figure. Okay, who was B. Amma? She was the mother of Maulana Muhammad Ali Jawhar. Jawhar is not written here. I'm telling you, it was Maulana Muhammad Ali Jawhar and Maulana Shaukat Ali Jawhar. As you know, both of them are very famous leaders, and you must have learned about these two leaders as well in, I think, PST or SST. So these two brave and noble brothers who were actually Maulana Muhammad Ali Jawhar and Shaukat Ali Jawhar, they were very brave, they were noble, and they also devoted their lives for the cause of, independence. In this struggle, the two brothers also were arrested. They were brought to trial to the court. A case uh, was put against them. So they were brought to the court, and then they were imprisoned. They were put into prison, or they were sent into jail. In simple words, They were sent into jail for 2 years. The sentence for them was for 2 years. So at that time, the Amma sent a word. Here, the meaning of word is order. It's not word, the common meaning of word. Here, word means order. She ordered them not to give up. Give up means not to lose hope, not to be dejected, not to be what should I say? Not to be worried. So, not to give up their cause and not to ask for pardon. Pardon means forgiveness, which was the condition because they were given a chance to ask for pardon and on behalf of this condition they could be released. But she said, no, you cannot do so. She sent an order, very strict order as a mother. So BMA had not been to school. She was not educated. What was her greatness? Her greatness was to teach her sons to be willing, to be ready, to sacrifice their lives, in fact, in the cause of Muslim independence. And later, she encouraged them also at home to accomplish their goal. Okay, so the next is okay. Another lady worthy of admiration is Begum Muhammad Ali. Begum Muhammad Ali is the wife of Maulana Muhammad Ali Johar. It means that she was the daughter-in-law of Biamma. Begum Muhammad Ali was the daughter-in-law of Biamma. Biamma's name was Abadi. Begum is given in your book. It was Abadi Bano Begum, and her name was Amjadi Bano Begum. Begum Muhammad Ali's name was Amjadi Bano Begum. Okay, she would, be in parda as women commonly used to be in burqa and they were in strict parda. But she would attend men's public meetings, but was also the first Muslim women to address them. She would attend men's public women. That was a common thing. But she also addressed them. She was the first Muslim woman who addressed men. Otherwise, women would address to women. So she was the first one. She spoke in simple words and in a natural tone. Her words were very simple, her tone was very natural, but actually the message was very effective. She also wrote for the press. She was a good writer as well at that time. Her opinions, her her guidance, these were highly respected by the Qaeda-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and Qaeda-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah gave her a lot of importance. Okay, when she was to address women's meeting, large crowds would gather to hear her. Many people would come to listen to her as she was so famous among men and women. Okay, and that's why she was respected by both men and women. Then there was Miss Fatima Jinnah, whom the grateful nation later called Madhuri Millat. Miss Fatima Jinnah was called Madhuri Millat. Madhuri Millat is a title and it means mother of the nation. She helped her brother because she was the sister of, Qaeda-e-Azam, as you know. She helped her brother in the struggle for the establishment of Pakistan. She was the right hand of Qaeda-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, no doubt. It was through her efforts that Muslim women who were able to seek, because Qaeda-e-Azam would be very busy, he could not easily meet, other political leaders. So Muslim women could easily seek the guidance of Qaeda-e-Azam and could have interviews with him with her help, with the help of Fatma Jinnah. She was politically informed because she was an educated lady as well, and that's why she would pass on information to other women. She would aware them about the political scenario. And in addition to all this, she looked after her illustrious brother. She would also look after Qaeda-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah because his health was not so good at that time. Qaeda-e-Azam was also going through TB at that time. Okay, tuberculosis he was going through. It was hidden from others, but Qaeda-e-Azam. Okay, next is Begum Rana Liaquat Ali Khan. Okay. Begum Rana Liaquat Ali Khan, she also worked as an honorary secretary and typist to Liaquat Ali Khan, her husband. It means she was wife of Liaquat Ali Khan, very famous leader of Pakistan movement and the first prime minister of Pakistan as well. When the Muslim League could not afford the salary of a secretary, she worked as a secretary and typist to Liaquat Ali Khan. Reason was because Muslim League could not afford the salary. That's why she worked. It means she did not take any salary for this work. What she would do? She would arrange parties where Muslim women could meet the wife and the daughter of the viceroy, because it was very necessary to have a platform to meet these personalities. It was not easy. So she would arrange parties to make Muslim women meet these personalities, the wife of the viceroy, the daughter of the viceroy. She also organized the women's voluntary service and later the women's national guards. It was, I think, these were organized or established after independence. I think, I'm not sure. You may check on internet, but I think they were after independence, and consisting of three battalions. Like in army we have battalions, the troops of a particular number of soldiers. So she also had battalions in her national guard, women's national guards, and women's voluntary service. And how many girls were in that battalions? In all that three battalions, 2,400 girls, and she was the brigadier. uh, it means that her rank was to be a brigadier. She was a brigadier herself. Okay. In Sindh, the work of awakening the Muslim women was carried out by Lady Nusrat Haroon, another lady, Lady Sughra Hidayatullah Begum, Khairul Shaban, and Fakhrunnisa Wali Muhammad Afandi. Okay, Lady Haroon. Now, this description is about Lady Haroon, although from Sindh, these are the famous names like Sughra Hidayatullah, Begum Khairunisa, Fakhrunnisa Wali Muhammad Afandi. So, Lady Haroon was a spirited woman of upright character. Spirited means very, very active and very, devoted. Women of upright. Upright means very, very strong character and a kind hostess. She was a very good hostess. She would welcome people very warmly. Her house in Karachi became the center of women's political activities, and it was a place of welcome to the Muslim League workers. She would welcome Muslim League workers if they had to come to Karachi for any of meeting or for attending any meeting. So she would welcome them, and they would stay at her home because she was a kind hostess. Classes were also held in her house to educate Muslim girls. Okay, so Lady Hidayatullah. Lady Hidayatullah traveled throughout the name from Sindh. This name is from Sindh. Na? Lady Hidayatullah traveled throughout Sindh holding women's political meetings. What she would do? She would go to rural areas of Sindh, and she would travel. She would talk to women about the political scenario. So she also worked in such a way. The first public meeting of women in Sindh was held in Karachi Zoological Garden. Where it was held, the first public meeting of women in Sindh, Karachi Zoological Garden. This was the venue, or this was the place. These three ladies led the anti-British processions. Processions means, when people come out against any idea or against any action. Okay, protest, you can say. Procession means for protest when people come out. Lady Sughra Hidayatullah and Begum Khairunisa Shaban also led processions in Lahore and succeeded in hoisting the Muslim League flag on the Secretariat. These are also two names. They not only led processions in Lahore, and they were actually planning something, and it was to, hoist the flag of Muslim League on the Secretariat. And it was very, it is a very famous event in the history of Pakistan when they did it, and many movies have been, not movies, dramas have been made on this event. Begum Jahara Shahnawaz, another name, she was from the Punjab. She represented the Muslim women at the three round table conferences held in London and was the first woman. Again, what she did, she attended, she attended and represented the Muslim women at the three round table conference in London. It was also a big achievement by a lady, and she was the first woman ever to make a speech in London's Guildhall. London's Guildhall is very famous. Everyone cannot be able to give a speech there. So she was the first woman ever, not Muslim women, first women ever to make a speech there. She also traveled widely. She explained to the people of other countries, again, the cause of independence. She explained the women of the country. Okay. Other women who played an active part in the struggle for independence are, these are few names: Begum Iqbal Hussain, Begum Salma Tasadduq Hussain, Geti Ara Bashir Ahmad, Begum Shaista Ikramullah, Begum Vikarunisa Noon, Begum Nawab Muhammad Ismail, Nur Sabah Begum, and Fatma Sheikh of Hyderabad, Sindh. These are few names given in your book, although there are many other names. Some are very famous, some are not so famous, less famous, but they all participated in the glorious struggle of Pakistan without any greed. They participated selflessly. You can find out many other information on internet, and I think you should try to search out more about women's participation in the glorious struggle of Pakistan. Okay, this is all about the chapter. Now move towards the second topic, parts of speech. So first topic that you will learn today is pronoun, because yesterday you only learned nouns. Okay, pronoun, verb, and adverb. What is pronoun? Very simple definition, as you know, because it's just a division of parts of speech. Okay, a pronoun refers to a noun or a noun phrase. It replaces noun, or it also replaces a noun phrase. As we say, Sarah was going, we can say she was going. Next sentence, we can say Sarah was going, she was in a hurry. Okay, next is the kinds of pronouns. How many kinds you can see here? Relative pronoun, reflexive pronouns, emphasizing pronouns, indefinite pronouns, interrogative, demonstrative, possessive, personal. Okay. So you will think these are different kinds of pronouns. We forget which pronoun or which pronouns come under these headings. Relative pronouns. Who, whoever, whom, whomever, which, whichever, that, and whose. These are relative pronouns. We use them in sentences, as you know. Okay, she's the girl who's my best friend. Here, who is relative pronoun. Okay, reflexive and emphasizing pronoun. Singular and plural, you can say myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself. You know, the word self we add in making reflexive pronouns, and some are singular and some are plural. Okay, if the personal pronoun is plural, so we add selves. If the personal pronoun is singular, we add self, selves, and self. So singular, plural, you can easily understand. What are the plurals? Ourselves, yourselves, themselves. Okay, indefinite pronoun, anybody. When the pronoun or the noun is not definite, actually, as we say anybody, anyone, anything, everybody, everyone, everything, nobody, no one. When we are not talking about a particular one, we say by calling these pronouns, it means that we are not definite or sure about the nouns. Okay, these are common examples. It's better to take screenshots side by side. Okay. Interrogative pronouns are used for introducing questions, refer to nouns we don't know. So they are called interrogative pronouns. The question words are commonly used as interrogative pronouns like what, which, when, and all. Okay. Next, demonstrative pronouns. Identify and specify nouns and pronouns. What they do? They identify and specify nouns and pronouns. They are used as subject and object pronouns. This and these refer to nouns that are nearby, that and those. This and these. This and that. They are singular. These and those. They are plural demonstrative pronouns. What they do? They specify and identify nouns and demonstrative this, these, that, and those. Okay. Possessive pronouns, singular and plural, mine, ours, yours, hers, theirs. They are singular possessive pronouns and they are plural possessive pronouns. Okay, to show possession, we use these pronouns. Okay, personal pronouns, which are the most common pronouns, and they have subjective forms and adjective forms, as well as singular and plural. I is singular, you is singular, she, it, she, he, and it. They are singular, and we, you, they are plural. They are their subjective forms, and these are their objective forms when we use them as an object in the sentence. So singular are I, me, you, she, her, he, him, it, and plural, we, us, you, and they, and them. And personal pronouns you know very well. Okay. Now the next is verb. What is verb? A doing verb. Word is called verb. Action is called verb. It includes physical action, like to swim, to ride, to jump, to climb. Mental action, to think, to ponder, to consider. to reckon, state of being, to be, to exist, to appear. So these three kinds of verbs actually uh, come under the heading of verb. These three kinds of actions come under the heading of verbs. Okay. Next, action verbs. What are action verbs? Which shows, action verb shows action. Like Lee eats cake, eats is an action verb. The bear chased the salmon in the shallow rapids. Chased is action verb. Okay. Stative verbs. Stative verbs means the verbs which show presence, feelings, emotions, thought. Presence means a state of being, like I am at home. Am is a stative verb. She believes. This is not action verb. This is a mental activity. He feels. Again, this is something about feelings. So these are stative verbs. Okay, this is just a revision, so that's why I'm just giving you basic ideas. Phrasal verbs. These are very important verbs. How we make them? A verb and a preposition or an adverb with the verb. And that preposition and verb, both two words make a single word. For example, run into. Although run has different meaning, but run into means to meet. Run away. Run away means leave home. Like in your chapter, you read give up. Give means to hand over something, but give up means to lose hope or to leave something, to leave any struggle or any activity. So when we put a particular and appropriate preposition, the verb changes its meaning and it becomes phrasal verbs. And these verbs we cannot make on our own. We cannot make according to our thoughts. They are actually fixed and they are a proper vocabulary that we have to learn and that are very important to learn if you want to make your vocabulary good. Okay. So these are phrasal verbs, and in this chapter, phrasal verbs are also given. In this chapter means the role of women. Phrasal verbs are also given. Be verbs, for example, be verbs as a subject. For example, if the subject is S, the be verb in past is was, in present is am, and future will be. So these are different be verbs. They have present tense, am, are, is. They have past tense, was and were, and in future we use will be. Okay, be verbs you know very well. Regular and irregular. Regular verbs, their past tense means second form, and their past participle, you can say third form. They are made by adding ed or d. If e is at the end of the spelling already there, so we add d, otherwise ed. So these verbs are called regular. For example, love, loved, has loved. Okay, this is past participle. Okay, now irregular verb you can see. Verb you can see like tell, told, has told. They have different past tense and different past participle. They are not same. Their past tense and their past participle are not same. Now the third topic is adverb. Okay. Uh, See, what is adverb? They describes verb, adjective, and another adverb. In what manner, how, when, where, and to what extent? They describe these questions. Okay. Now, students, I will continue adverbs inshallah tomorrow. Okay. And I'm going to share homework with you. Okay. Home task. So we will continue adverb tomorrow inshallah. So let's see the homework. Words meaning, as you know, take screenshot quickly. You don't have enough time, so side by side, very quickly take screenshots. These are 8 words you can see on this slide. I think you have taken the screenshot, so I should move for the next slide. Okay, some more words. In total, they are 15 words because I thought these words are a little difficult or new words for you, so you should know the meaning, especially in context. According to the context, you have to understand the meaning. You take a screenshot. Now, textual questions. How many textual questions are here? These are 7 questions. Okay. And these are very important. The first one is a general question. As I numbered the activities of women, so you have to write down all that activities, at least 6 out of them or 5, and you can make the sentences which are in your text, you can make them shorter. Okay. You can, paraphrase You can write the sentences with paraphrases. It's not necessary to paste the long sentences as given in your book. The first one is actually very important question, and then the remaining are also important, but that's the first one is about something very long, so you have to make it short. Okay. So I think you have taken a screenshot. Short note and sentences. You have to write down a short note and BMR, and number two, women's role in Pakistan movement. Okay, students, for short note, you can refer answers as well. If you think that these answers, if I write down together, so it will become a short note, you can refer the answers as well. Okay, like answer number this, answer number this. So you can refer. No need to write the sentences again. You can refer the answers if you think they make a short note together. Okay, then sentences of the given phrases. These are from your book. As I told you about the phrasal verbs, they are phrasal verbs, and you have to make sentences. It's not a phrasal verb side by side. It's a phrase. But look after, look for. Look after means to take care. Then look for. The meanings are in your book. You can see. Look for the verb look. Number 2, 3, 4 are same, but prepositions are different after, for, and into. That's why the meanings are different. So you have to make sentences by using these phrasal verbs, and the meaning should be prominently clear. Point at, it is another one. Look out, another with look. To give up. To give up, and side by side I took it from the chapter, and actually the content of the chapter, and these are given in textual exercises. So I selected these five. Okay. And one more exercise on page number 54, that is exercise of phrasal verbs actually. And you can do this exercise in book. No need to write in copy. Do this exercise in book. The spaces, the blanks are given. So supply the particular word or phrases in that spaces given in your book, in the form of blanks. Okay. Next, this is about grammar, as I taught you verbs, pronoun and adverb. Inshallah, I will continue. I just gave you the definition of adverb. So we will inshallah continue adverb, the details tomorrow, inshallah. So these are the base form of some verbs. Most of them, I think all of them are irregular. So you have to write down their past tense and past participle, because regular verbs are very easy. You have to make their past tense and past participle by adding ed or d. So you know very well. So these are irregular verbs I selected for you, and you have to write down their past participles. Okay. Once again, I show you the slides. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot of this slide right now, which is open in front of you. Take a screenshot. Okay. I think you have taken screenshot. Let me show you textual question answers once again, because you asked me to show textual question answers. Once again, see textual question answers. If you haven't taken a screenshot, please take a screenshot. Okay, students, Allah Hafiz.